What's up, YouTube? This is a video I've been wanting to make for quite some time now, and I feel like right now is the appropriate time to do that. So, I want to talk about Ben, aka King Azoulay. King, yeah. Alright, I went to middle school and high school with this clown, alright? Now, funny story time. 2003-2004 school year at A. Wright Middle School in Calabasas, California, off of Las Virgenes Road. This is back when A.C. Stell and A. Wright Middle School were sharing the same campus because A.C. Stell hadn't been built yet. I don't remember if Ben was on the A.C. Stell side or on the A. Wright side, but anyways, we were all intermingled until A.C. Stell opened their campus. So I was in the 6th grade. I was at A. Wright Middle School. He was in the 8th grade. Now, from what I remember, Ben was a nobody. He didn't really have friends. Nobody liked him. He was annoying. I remember he was scrawny and he had a really big nose. I'm talking like Toucan Sam, like a Lethal Weapon as a nose. And I remember he had some piercings too. Like he had an eyebrow piercing, I remember. Because I used to want an eyebrow piercing back then. And I thought it was cool that he had an eyebrow piercing, actually. But, so anyways. I believe it was October of 2003. And he was leaned up against the fence by the vending machines. And he was beatboxing and rapping. At the time, I guess he wanted to be a rapper or something. So he was beatboxing and rapping. I remember he was wearing this really large gray oversized hoodie. It's funny how my short-term memory is horrible, but my long-term memory is amazing. So anyways, he was wearing this oversized gray hoodie. He had his hood on, beatboxing. I'm with my group of friends. We had some girls around us. And I was by no means a tough guy. I was a skinny skater kid. And I'm still by no means a tough guy. I'm not a fighter. I'm just a guy that likes lifting weights. So, Ben, he was beatboxing and rapping before school started. And someone from my friend group shouted, "Shut up!" We were tired of hearing him. I mean, we didn't want to hear his garbage raps. It was horrible. It's fair enough. So he said, "Hey, who said that?" And me, I had this girl that I was crushing on. Her name was Courtney. So, Courtney was standing there, and I raised my hand and I said, "Me, I said it." So he walks over to me, and he was like 2 grades above me. So he was bigger than I was. This is before I hit puberty too. I was a little scrawny kid. He walks over to me and gets in my face. And I remember his nose was right here. And I took a step back and I jabbed him in the nose, thinking I'm going to get my ass kicked right now. But I had my friends with me, so I wasn't too worried, but I thought for sure I'm going to get my ass kicked. But I was trying to impress a girl. So, I punched him in the nose. What happened next definitely surprised me. Instead of him fighting back, he just grabbed his nose and goes like this, and then there was some blood dripping out of his nose. And I thought, all right, he's going to fight back. But no, instead of fighting back, he started crying. Full out started crying. Bawling tears. And then ran towards the office. I don't know if he went to the office because none of us got in trouble for this or nothing came about it. But he ran over towards the office and that was it. So I think it's funny when he's out there claiming he beat up his dad at a young age and he was an underground street fighter and whatnot. We had we had a lot of mutual friends. You know, I was in the Persian group, he was in the Israeli group, and we had a lot of mutual friends. I seen him at all the house parties throughout high school. I mean, he was just the guy that was always around, and he was always annoying. Now, some of the Israelis that he hung out with, they were some tough dudes. I'll give him that. You know, some of his Israeli friends, they were some real fighters, and I seen these guys get into loads and loads of fights. Um, so part of me feels like some of these stories he's telling stories about some of his friends, but throwing a lot of salt on these stories. But Ben was never a tough guy. I mean, later on, he got a nose job, and you know that's why the nose he has right now looks the way it does. But I'd see him at house parties all the time. He was always the guy that was barking, but I never seen him get into one altercation ever. It was always the kind of guy that would run his mouth, and you know everyone knows that guy. The hey, hold me back guy, hold me back, hold me back. That was him. And then for him to be claiming that he's got hundreds of millions of dollars and retired by the age of 24, the dude used to room, I don't know if he still does, but I know just like maybe a year or two ago, he was roommates with one of my friends who's in his 20s. And this guy's a good dude that he was rooming with. And he's actually a pretty good fighter. I think he's going to go pro soon if he's not pro already. But I feel like anything that Ben knows about fighting are all stories from people around him that he regurgitates and puts himself as the main character and throws some spice onto it. But the funny thing is, if you got hundreds of millions of dollars, then why are you sharing a place with a 20-something-year-old? Does that make any sense to anybody? I don't know. Maybe he likes being around dudes. Who knows? But I got more stories, right? So this is just the beginning of it. I've been wanting to call this dude out for plenty of times. Oh, but one thing that I'll say that he did tell the truth on was he said he got beat up when he was 13 years old. I wouldn't even call it being beat up. That was me. I punched you in the nose when you were 13 years old. But I wouldn't say I beat you up. I punched you in the nose once. You got a bloody nose and you started crying and you ran away. That was it. So I guess he's kind of telling the truth on that sense. But everything else that comes out of his mouth is, yeah. All right, guys, that's my story for today. Tune in for part 2.